Hello everyone and welcome to an all new Geek World Order video. Randy here, and today I am kind of just giving some updates because I did let y'all know a few months ago that I am going through the task of writing a book. The first time I've done this, my goal is to finish it and get published, more than likely through a self-publishing route, probably Amazon, KDP, most likely the option I'm going to take. But I did want to let you know kind of how that process is going and just kind of see where we're at, because it's been a very interesting journey. Kind of just even from the start to where we're at now. I have currently crossed the 30,000 word mark of the book, or at least of my first draft. I'm sure there's, of course, edits, revisions, and I've even been adding stuff to chapters as I think of it. I'll go through, read the chapter, add some extra dialogue, extra description, things like that. I'm learning this process. But, so I am getting closer and closer to that mark of, it should be a novel by the time it's done. I know most sites I say a novel is like a minimum of 40,000 words. Some say 50. So I think 40 is an easy goal to reach. I think we're going to get there. I've got at least 4 or 5 chapters left to write in the first draft. Now, I may add some chapters, may break some things up, depending on how things look. But I am looking forward to it. It's been a very interesting process. It's very interesting to kind of learn how this goes. I even found a phrase that I somehow want to work into the story. I was listening to a podcast, and the person that was being interviewed in that podcast had a very interesting way of describing themselves, and it was a very interesting phrase, and I really want to. So that's one of the things I want to add. I've added some movie quotes, some TV quotes, some very interesting things, and just, I don't know, just kind of putting some little Easter eggs in the story just to make it fun, see if people notice these things or have some of the same interests I do. It's been fun kind of crafting these characters, working through the story. It's kind of your get together, assemble the crew kind of story, because I would like this journey. I would like this to expand into other books. I'd like to write more stories with this crew, kind of setting up its own universe. There's a lot of heavy Star Trek influence, some Firefly influence, and then I pulled some Easter eggs and some references to other franchises that I am an absolute fan of. So I'm very much looking forward to working some of that into the book and kind of just letting my personality shine through the writing. So there will definitely be some fun references, kind of working out the character stories. I had a loose outline, but I'm mostly using the write by the seat of your pants method. I think at least for this first book, that's the approach I want to take to it, because I am learning this craft, learning how to do these things, and it's been a very fun process. So right now, I still have a working title for the book. I don't know if I want to announce the name of the book yet. I think I'm going to wait until I'm done with the first draft and get done with some of the editing. And if I still have, and I think if I get to that point and do my first round of revisions, I think at that point I would probably settle on the name and then go from there. But I am hoping to have this thing out within the next few months. Like I said, I go through and kind of edit on a consistent basis. Like, I've definitely already gone through a lot of my chapters and done a lot of the initial editing because I write at night, so weird typos, things like that, weird grammatical things happen. So I've already been kind of going through and re-editing the previous chapters, and I'll let the current chapter sit a little bit, kind of go back and forth on it. So that's been at least my process with this book. Now, like I said, I eventually like to spin this off into its own series. I'd like to do more stories with this crew, so, and I'm kind of working what those topics would be, you know. So of course I've been watching a crap ton of Star Trek, looking for inspiration, of course, see if there's something. I mean, that's a lot of what you do with sci-fi tropes, right? Writing sci-fi is like, what's a concept and how do you take your spin on it? So kind of looking for those ideas, getting that set together. So, but I am going to write some other stuff. I think I want to write some short stories, have some other, just have a good variety of stuff available. Want to challenge myself to write in different ways. So, and I do have a concept for a second book that I'm kind of working and outlining right now, but I don't want to get too far into that one. But that's been a very interesting part of the process, is kind of looking and learning where your inspiration comes from, and just kind of thinking in your mind, oh, that's an interesting topic. What if I took this and put this spin on it? And that was basically how I came up with the idea for what will likely become my second book. I know I haven't even published the first one, and I'm already thinking of a second book. So, I mean, even if nothing I do ever gets published, I'm still going to write it because it's still a very creative outlet, and I think there's good things to it. But my goal is to definitely publish this first book, and it will likely be through a self-publishing option. But I'm okay with that. I think just doing the first story, getting it out there, and just saying I did it on my own is going to be a very rewarding experience. And I'm learning my writing process, and my overthinking brain definitely plays a lot of the scenarios out in their head. It's like, okay, is this how I want this to work? So, and then I just have to type the words out. But it has been a very interesting process, and I feel like I've definitely learned a lot about this process already, even though I haven't gone through the editing or the manuscript formatting and all that stuff yet. So there are definitely things I need to learn, definitely things I need to work on, but I am very happy with the progress I've made on this book and this story. And I'm going to go through, try to make it everything good and tight, make it an enjoyable read. But I'm going to put the kind of stuff out into the world that I want to read. And I want to read shorter fiction. I mean, I'm not the person to read like a 700-800 page fantasy book. Believe me, you guys read them, more power to you, because that takes a lot of dedication, a lot of effort. I prefer short reads, so this book is going to be a shorter read. I'm hoping to not go more than 200-ish pages. Like I said, I would like to have quick, easy, something that reminds me of like the old sci-fi books I used to read when I was a kid, just the paperbacks from the store. And that's the kind of vibe I want to have with my writing. Very fun, quick, easy writing. So that's where I'm at. That's where my thoughts are. So I definitely want to have that. And that's the kind of stuff I want to put into the world. And I am very much looking forward to this process, going through, finishing it. So that's where we're at. I just recently crossed the 30,000 words mark. So hopefully, like I said, I think I've got maybe about 4 to 5 chapters to write. Just kind of where I and to be where I want to wrap up the story. So that's where I'm going to go with this. That's kind of my goal. And then if things change and if I have to add a little more, but that's where I'm looking right now. But overall, this process has been very fun. It's been very exciting. I'm absolutely looking forward to doing more of this. I'm definitely looking forward to learning what I can learn from the editing and the revision process and cleaning up the draft. And then what I can learn from the publishing process, because I am working on researching that now and kind of figuring out what I need to do. But there's definitely some things that I'm going to have to figure out from there, but I'm looking forward to it. So if anyone was curious, that's kind of where we're at with the book update. That's where I'm at in the process. So I'll keep you guys informed I'll do more updates when I get closer to, being done with the book, getting it published. Once I'm ready to announce the title, maybe a release date as I get over the next few months. So definitely looking forward to this process. So that's the update, guys. There's your video for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things that help out the algorithms, and I'll see y'all in the next one.